ChatGPT saved a life. This guy had a dog that got basically misdiagnosed by its vet. It had some tick-borne illness, which is what the vet thought. And he got home, the dog kept getting sicker. So he goes back to the vet. The vet basically says, I don't know, let's wait and see. Because the vet couldn't figure out what the heck was wrong with the dog
Uh,
and said, wait and see. And that wouldn't be good for anybody, let alone this guy. So this guy says, no, I'm going to go home, look it up on ChatGPT. So he puts in all of the data from the blood diagnosis and all the symptoms. So at the end of it, ChatGPT gave the exact illness. It was the first guess. It had two um, two diagnoses, and the first one was right. He
wow.
goes back to the doctor, and they do the actual test for whatever, however you say that, hemolyosis,
Yeah.
and he gets the right prescription, and now the dog is recovering and going to be back to full health.
Wow.
Absolutely insane. And he tried GPT 3.5. Let me find out where it is. And he said that GPT 3.5 wouldn't have given the right diagnosis.
What did it say? That the dog was just like, lazy or something?
Well, let's see. It says here, I don't know why the first vet couldn't make the correct diagnosis, either incompetence or poor management. GPT 3.5 couldn't place the proper diagnosis, but GPT 4 was smart enough to do it. I can't imagine the medical diagnostics will look like in 20 years from now. It seemed good.
Yeah, no, that's just insane. That's what I'm saying to people. This is like the original iPod of like, GPT that we're looking at.
Yeah. I feel like it's not going to be very far. In fact, maybe even today, where this guy was savvy enough to know that ChatGPT was a thing and look it up.
Yeah.
But for sure, there's lots of other animals that are unfortunately dying in the same scenario. The scenario of like the vet not being able to figure out what's wrong.
Yeah.
So at some point in the near future, it's going to be medical malpractice not to use like ChatGPT or an AI.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this makes me happier about robots taking our jobs if they can save our dogs?
It's GPT 3.5 versus GPT 4 with no vision, and then GPT 4. So GPT 4 has vision embedded. So you can take like a diagram, a picture. Let's say there's like a guy falling. It'll look at the picture and be like, oh, that guy is about to fall. But we don't know that version because we only have the sort of nerf version in GPT
Gotcha.
4. So you can see here in most of these exams, Chat GPT just crushes. Um, you can see here in the GRE exam, GPT-4 with vision gets about an 80%, so it passes every time. Um, the USABO, it gets near 100. GRE verbal, near 100. So this is Chat GPT compared with like GPT-4. GPT-4 is going to be the best of any of these. The Chat GPT-4 we have is still going to be pretty good. It runs on GPT-4, but it's not the full force. So here you see like learning, how it's doing, technology, writing. This is in its infancy. So this is the worst we're ever going to see it, and it's doing remarkable.
What a nerd.
GPT-4 passed the coding exam for Amazon. It could be an Amazon tech person right now. It got 100%, which is pretty good, but instead of 2 hours, it took just under 4 minutes. 4 minutes to ace. Most coders take probably the whole amount of time. Some coders don't even finish in 2 hours.
My goodness.
4 minutes to ace it and leave.
Dude, we're really messing up though. We shouldn't be telling people about this. Like, I want to live in a world where like these things can do all these jobs and people don't realize it. And I could just go chill on a beach all day while it does my job in 3 minutes and 59 seconds.
Dude, we're in that little window where just enough people know about it to make you like lethal. I don't think my sister knows about it. I don't think like some of my friends know about it.
Don't tell her. Don't tell him.
Yeah. This is something magical made by some nerds, and it's pretty independent. It's called Riz GPT, and this is a way of having a little AR glasses or monocle and being able to conversate with people in the world. Let's take a look.
What do you know about the use state hook in React Native?
I know that the U-State Hook is an innovative and rapidly growing software engineering hub that specializes in React Native development.
So right now he's reading from these glasses. To defend my fellow nerds, reading out loud sucks. So this is coming up in real time, and his buddy is pretending to be like an interviewer who's asking him questions about stuff he may not know. So the glasses look up online. The glasses are listening at all times. So when the guy says something, it looks it up through something called Whisper, and it tells ChatGPT to make a conversation about it.
How do you sync Chat GPT to these glasses?
Something called, I think it's called Monocle AR.
Yeah.
It's this little circle piece. It's this little circle piece here that can clip on like sunglasses,
Yeah.
and inside gives you a little like monitor that you can see through the glasses. Think of Google Glass back in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
So weird. Google Glass failed, and like now this is come back.
It was too soon. Too soon.
Yeah.
They also have a little camera and a little microphone. The microphone is listening to the conversation, and it's being relayed to. Here we go. It's being relayed to their phone. So
Okay.
their phone interprets all this, talks to ChatGPT, which creates conversation, and repeats it back. OpenAI Whisper is kind of like how Siri understands what you're saying, but way, way better. This
Okay.
controls for speech impediments, accents, background noise, all the weird stuff that throws Siri and like Alexa off. This thing mastered. So
And this was made by OpenAI, or it's a third party thing? The OpenAI.
this is these kids. They
Okay.
made this, and that's how it looks on the face.
Yeah.
They made this. They got the monocle from Brilliant Labs AR. I think it's called. Let's see what it's called here. Monocle AR. And they just sort of stapled onto one of their glasses, and now they got this.
That's great. So
Thank you for your interest. I've been studying React Native for the past few months, and I'm confident that I have the skills and knowledge access necessary for the job.
What do you know about the use state hook in React Native?
I know that the U-State Hook is an innovative and rapidly growing software engineering hub that specializes in React Native development. I'm confident that I can contribute to it.
It sounds like you're really great for the job. What else do you want to tell me?
Thank you for your confidence in me. I've done extensive research and practice with the U-State Hook, and I understand its core principles and core concepts. I believe I can use this on the job.
Thank you. It sounds like you're hired.
this is awful, man.
Job to teach React.
This is awful. This is like a mix between being a pirate and a sociopath. It's like it's just imagine these like dating use cases where someone's just like, I recall that you said you once went to spring break in Barbados and your favorite color is fuchsia. I think we're soulmates, you know. So also like obviously this stuff will get a little bit better, but the way that like the guy has to read it is like so stilted, and it's like, yes, I know you, Hook. You know?
To be fair, like I said, that's because his reading and nervousness probably got in there. If you could
Yeah,
read a prompter, then you could probably master the art of like using
yeah,
this on a date. And this is also like how it looks as a prototype. So the
right.
actual thing is probably gonna look like glasses that you can't even
Yeah.
tell. Like
These dudes just made like $1 billion probably with this like use case, like in terms of like any venture persons would be like, oh my goodness.
yeah. So speaking of dating and putting it into your social life, Microsoft found a way to shove ChatGPT into more things somehow. They now made a keyboard that has ChatGPT in it. It's called Swift Key. It's been around for a while. Their beta version now has their Bing chat, which is basically just ChatGPT, jammed inside of it. So this is sort of a screenshot of a phone that has it installed. You see the little Bing there. If you click that, you can go to like a search, just like you would through Bing, tone, and chat. So if you're typing something up and you want it to sound like less aggressive or more friendly, you type it in the little box here, and you can select what kind of tone you want. Just
Dude,
jam.
I love that so much because then you can like say what you mean, but then put tone like polite and respectful. So you could be like, "Yeah, I hate you, and I'm really don't want to go to this meeting," and it'll be like, "I respect you a lot and look forward to seeing you at 3 o'clock."
Yeah, people with anger management can keep their jobs.
Dude, this is the greatest thing ever. It lets you just like be two people.
Yeah. And then there's we're pretending we clicked the little chat thing. Chat looks just like Bing chat. So you can search using creative, balance, precise, and it searches the web and it uses ChatGPT to get your results. All in your little keyboard. Like they're gonna figure out how to put ChatGPT in like coffee. They're getting crazy.
Well, I told you yesterday, like Eventbrite's using it for marketing. It's integrated at least GPT-3 and for writing copy. So it's like everywhere. It's just putting in these plugins.
All right. So keep in mind, this
Yeah.
is not Jay-Z.
Okay.
This is a group called Alta. Song is called Savages. This
Okay.
is all AI generated voice.
Okay.
And by all, I mean Jay-Z is all. There's the guy who raps with him. He's obviously not AI, but Jay-Z is fully AI.
Yeah, you tell the young they can never become what they aspire to. Born in a cell with no one who can inspire you.
Your highs are as never as high as those that lie to you.
Pretending that they live in the sky, lying behind your roof.
Shooting holes up at your ceiling, trying to find the proof, trying to fight the feeling, the truth.
Tied up like the noose they've been concealing.
Dipped in diamonds so that you find it appealing.
Time for dealing. Despite y'all dealing, we are the savages, the natives who fight the appeal of all your lavishes.
Oh my God. All I could say is thank goodness they only can do this for Jay-Z because this is terrible.
For sure gonna see Tupac album again.
This is like deep fake times a million, like in terms of I mean it's pretty amazing, but this is like what we're talking about all the time about like they have to match the laws to this stuff to really like, make sure that people aren't able to just like make money from this stuff, based on the following that and voice that he built himself.
Yeah, I feel like we're in that place where you have to rewrite a lot of things, but I think this falls under likeness. I think likeness is the
It definitely does. It's just, they post this. I'm sure Jay-Z's people are like already sending a cease and desist. I'd be surprised if this was up another week.
I hate to break it to you, but this is from March 30th. So
Okay, then maybe not.
it's been out and it's got 304,000. It's pretty out there. But yeah, and it's not going to stop either. Like you can send a cease and desist to this person, but there's going to be every single And I mean, this is music. We're gonna see this for politicians and just about anyone else you can imagine.
Yeah.
All right, so there's been a trend of trying to approach AGI, so superhuman intelligence,
Mhm.
basically an AI that can think for itself. And there's been several approaches to this. One of them is called hugging GPT. Um, the other one is Auto GPT, which we'll get to later, and then
Yeah.
Baby AGI. But they're all doing the same thing, which is taking AI and querying AI. So Hugging GPT is by these people called Hugging Face, and Microsoft, of course, got in on the action.
Yeah.
Microsoft calls this Jarvis for whatever reason.
Right. I've heard of Jarvis. Okay, I'm curious about that.
Yeah. So yeah, Hugging Face is kind of a repository for a lot of projects of AI and machine learning. So people are like, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could make recipes?" And they make like an AI just to make recipes or text to image. They have hundreds of little repositories um, that they have access to. So Hugging GPT takes a layer of Chat GPT and says, "Okay, figure out which one of these specialized AIs could do your job."
Mm.
So if I ask it, I tried asking it, "Hey, let's make a video of a puppy riding a skateboard." So it thinks about it and it gives you an answer of like, "Oh, I understand your request, blah, blah, blah. And here is a puppy riding a skateboard." So it thinks about what to use. You could see, and it tells you its thought process.
Yeah.
And it says, "Oh, I figured out that I need to use Stable Diffusion to do that." Stable Diffusion is a way to take text and make it into an image. Um, and then it realizes, "Oh, there's nothing in my repository to do video." It says that somewhere. Yeah. Uh, so it skips video and it just settles for like an image. So that's cool. Um, the idea of this is awesome, and the implementation of it is gonna be crazy in the future.
Yeah.
I could not get Hugging GPT to do anything well. So the idea is phenomenal. So it used Stable Diffusion 1.5, and I'm like, "Hey, let's use Stable Diffusion 2.1, which is the latest version," and it wouldn't have a skateboard with extra wheels because Stable
Yeah.
Diffusion 2.1 is better. It says, "Okay, I'll do all this crap, blah, blah, blah." It still ends up using 1.5. Now, in testing, I did get it to use Stable Diffusion 2.1. And to its credit, for something this simple, just like a video, just a image, you should probably just use Dolly or Stable Diffusion 2.1. But if you have something complex to do, like I asked it here to give an image and give an audio file. So it found a repository that does just audio, and it did the audio. And this is what it says: "I wanted it to sound like the dog riding the skateboard." And it timed out. Anyway, yeah, I opened it like an hour ago and everything is timed out.
That's
Uh,
okay. Did it
okay.
sound did it sound like a dog on a skateboard?
The audio was, "I am creating an image of a puppy riding a skateboard."
It's like my Detroit trip. You will need to Uber and eat dinner.
I'm like, "All right." But it did give an audio and it did select the right, what did it choose? Whatever this is, Can Bayashi speech Vits, which generates
Yeah.
sound. So it selected the right thing. I've just been getting horrible results, and I'm finding out online, I'm not the only one. But the idea of this is definitely the way of the future. So, um,
This is like the conspiracy theorist in me though is like, we can't use the latest Stable Diffusion unless you have $20, Kaya, you know? And then it's like or it's um like, "Oh yeah, we don't understand your prompt, but at University of Phoenix, if you take our prompt engineering certificate program, you will be able to use this." Like
you're not too far off. In these little spaces here, you have to put your open AI key. Remember when I said I took the company credit card? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, they actually do charge you. So you're not far off. It's like 0.00001 cent per transactions, but it's something very small, but it adds up. So you keep doing this, and it starts
Sure.
there. We're already at 92 cents.
Oh, how dare you?
Yeah, it's crazy.
No,
Um,
that's
the
cool.
other one I've been trying is AutoGPT, and AutoGPT sort of is like a prompt engineer on crack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the bad part is that you have to know something about the terminal, and your output looks like this.
Yeah.
So you go back and forth, but the actual output can be in a spreadsheet or an image. It'll write to a file for you.
I'm not worried about this at all. This looks more like a sleep training aid than anything else.